The name is Oliver, and the age is 45 years. I had just retrieved my suitcases at Portland International Airport when my phone vibrated with a cryptic message from my elder brother, Harrison. Abort your plans tonight. Secure separate accommodation. Trust me. A cold knot immediately tightened in Oliver's chest. He'd been absent on a demanding sales circuit for 5 days, and his original intent was to surprise his wife, Juliet, and their 2 young children by arriving home a full day early. He dialed Harrison's number 4 times in rapid succession, but the calls went unanswered. He quickly texted back, "Why? What's the danger?" His reply sent a shiver down his spine. "Just listen to me. Stay away. Come straight to my loft instead." Every instinct Oliver had screamed that this involved his family, specifically his son and daughter. He snatched his baggage and sprinted through the vast, dimly lit long-term parking facility toward his sedan. Whatever upheaval was occurring, he needed immediate clarity. Before he details the sequence of events that unfolded that evening and the indelible transformation it brought to their family's existence, please share where you are connecting from below, and click the like button if you've ever experienced that undeniable, terrifying gut feeling that something fundamental was wrong in your own home. 4 years into Oliver's role as the regional sales director for a specialized pharmaco firm, he genuinely believed he had achieved the ideal blend of professional success and a thriving domestic life. Juliet and he had celebrated their 11-year wedding anniversary, cultivating what their entire social circle perceived as a flawless, enviable existence within their upscale Oregon suburban community. Their children, Olivia and Noah, were enrolled in a highly rated elementary academy, where Juliet often volunteered, dedicating 3 mornings a week. To the outside world, they were the embodiment of the American dream, the spacious 5-bedroom house featuring a bespoke treehouse Oliver had constructed, the meticulously organized photo albums documenting annual summer vacations to the Rockies, and a carefully curated social media feed showcasing their apparent bliss. Oliver's bond with his brother Harrison had always been the steadfast anchor in his life. 5 years his senior, he had been his constant safeguard since childhood, the one who taught him to confront aggression, and who later helped him navigate the complexities of college admissions and adult life. Even as successful professionals, he, a highly sought-after cybersecurity architect working remotely, and Oliver, perpetually in motion for high-stakes presentations, they maintained a profound connection that superseded the need for constant communication. However, in recent months, their exchanges had become noticeably irregular. Between Oliver's intensified travel schedule and Harrison's new serious relationship with Penelope, their former bi-weekly video calls had been replaced by sporadic texts and a quarterly dinner when Oliver was briefly in town. Despite this shift, he never doubted that Harrison remained the only person he could trust completely, the one who would deliver the unvarnished, painful truth. Oliver's marriage to Juliet had been founded on the fierce certainty that they were soulmates. They met during his final semester of university. She was an aspiring artist working as a barista at the local cafe where Oliver spent his study hours. Her vibrant, impressionistic temperament balanced Oliver's focused, practical approach. As Oliver's career in pharmaco sales rapidly accelerated, Juliet set aside her fine arts degree to concentrate on managing their household and raising the children. Looking back now, Oliver can clearly delineate the subtle shifts he had deliberately ignored. Juliet's painting and pottery projects, once a consistent fixture in their home, had virtually ceased. Her close circle of artistic friends visited less frequently, eventually disappearing entirely. When Oliver voiced these observations, she expertly dismissed his worries with reassurances about the profound fulfillment she found in parenthood and community volunteer work. More recently, new, concerning patterns had emerged, which Oliver had rationalized away during his frequent absences. Juliet had become overly protective of her smartphone. The screen always pointed away from Oliver's gaze. She had also established new literature group meetings that occasionally required overnight stays with a friend, occurring approximately twice a month. Their physical intimacy had become routine and infrequent. Each time these anxieties surfaced, Oliver repressed them, channeling his focus onto the next sales objective, the next critical client, the next flight. The children, too, exhibited subtle changes. Olivia, normally bright and academically keen, had grown quieter and was sometimes seen wearing the same simple clothes for 2 or 3 days, a detail the formerly meticulous Juliet would never have tolerated. Noah had developed an intense nervous habit of picking at his cuticles until they bled, and his preschool teacher had emailed Oliver about his increasing social withdrawal. Oliver had mentioned these observations to Juliet during their nightly calls, accepting her explanations about normal developmental phases and the temporary strain of his being away. Oliver's most recent professional journey to Seattle had been scheduled for 6 days of client negotiations and a major medical technology trade show. When the primary supply contract was finalized 3 days ahead of schedule and the event's closing keynote was canceled due to the speaker's sudden illness, Oliver seized the opportunity to return early. He pictured the children's excitement and a potential opportunity to genuinely reconnect with Juliet over an unexpected long weekend. He hadn't informed anyone of his early return, planning it as a perfect surprise. He had even purchased small gifts: a delicate silver locket for Olivia, a rare Star Commander action figure for Noah, and a platinum pendant he hoped might rekindle some emotional connection with Juliet. These carefully selected presents lay forgotten in his carry-on as Oliver sped toward Harrison's downtown apartment complex, his knuckles white against the steering wheel. The traffic synchronization on Tanner Street seemed calibrated to intensify his dread, each red signal an excruciating interruption in his pursuit of the truth. He tried calling Harrison 3 more times during these stops, receiving only a text that read, "Nearly there. Wait for me. Spare key is under the emerald planter." Whatever he needed to convey, he was clearly unwilling to do it over the phone.
When Oliver finally managed to park haphazardly outside Harrison's sleek, modern building, the night had fully descended. Streetlights cast harsh, unfamiliar shadows. He located the key exactly as he'd described and let himself into his minimalist, meticulously tidy living space. The only sound was the rhythmic ticking of a vintage grandfather clock. Oliver restlessly paced the length of the open concept living area, checking his phone every 45 seconds, his mind spiraling through catastrophic scenarios. An accident, serious illness, a robbery? Each possibility felt both terrifying and insufficient to explain Harrison's stark warning. When Oliver heard his key turn the lock about 25 minutes later, he practically leaped toward the door, desperate to end the torturous uncertainty. Harrison's face immediately conveyed everything and nothing simultaneously. His typical relaxed demeanor was replaced by grim, rigid lines, and his eyes intentionally avoided Oliver's as he locked the door securely behind him. He looked like a man facing an impossible task. "What is going on? Are the kids all right?" Oliver demanded immediately, his own voice sounding alien to him. He placed his attaché case deliberately onto the kitchen island before responding. "They are physically safe, Oliver, but there is a serious issue you must be informed of." His calm, measured tone, clearly intended to soothe, only amplified Oliver's panic. "Just tell me, Harrison, whatever it is, I need to know now." He motioned toward the leather sofa. "You need to sit down for this." Oliver remained standing, his body too rigid with adrenaline to comply. "Tell me, now." He sighed, then moved to his laptop, opening it and navigating to a folder with a cold, methodical precision that felt almost cruel given Oliver's state. Exactly 4 days ago, I was remotely troubleshooting that advanced surveillance system I installed at your place last month. Remember I mentioned I could access it to resolve any technical glitches? Oliver nodded impatiently. Harrison had installed the cutting-edge home security suite during his previous absence, insisting it would grant him peace of mind while traveling. The system included external cameras, motion detection, and discrete interior monitoring of communal spaces. I received an alert for highly irregular activity, multiple entries at strange times when the alarm should have been fully activated. I checked the footage to eliminate the possibility of a false alarm. He paused, visibly struggling how to proceed. "And?" Oliver prompted, his throat dry. "Juliet has been bringing people into your home, Oliver. Complete strangers, different individuals, sometimes more than one simultaneously." The statement hung heavy in the air, its full implication not immediately registering. "What do you mean, bringing people? Like friends? Contractors?"
Harrison's expression tightened with discomfort and mounting anger. Not friends, and certainly not contractors. These are men she appears to have connected with online. They arrive late in the evening, sometimes when you are away, sometimes when you are allegedly working late. And Oliver, what occurs after they arrive is extremely explicit. The solid floor seemed to tilt beneath Oliver as the devastating reality began to sink in. "Are you telling me Juliet is engaging in extramarital affairs in our own house?" "It's more serious than simple affairs," he said quietly, rotating the laptop screen toward Oliver. "Olivia and Noah are in the house when this is happening, and based on what I've witnessed in this documentation, they are not being supervised at all while these acts are taking place. There are disturbing signs of neglect, potentially even drug consumption. I have documented everything." Oliver stared at the screen, which displayed a paused video frame of his familiar living room. The timestamp indicated it was from 3 nights ago, shortly after 9:30 p.m. "Show me," Oliver managed to articulate, his voice a barely audible whisper. "Are you certain you want to view this? I can summarize the key points." "Show me," Oliver repeated, firmer this time. With palpable reluctance, Harrison pressed the play button. The video feed was crystal clear, despite the camera's infrared mode. Juliet entered the frame, dressed in clothing Oliver had never seen, laughing with a man whose face was partially concealed. A bottle of what looked exactly like premium bourbon dangled from her hand. They were already intimate as they fell on their family sofa, the very couch where Oliver had read bedtime stories countless times. As the scene unfolded with sickening clarity, Oliver's attention was snagged by movement at the periphery of the shot. A small figure in flannel pajamas, hesitating at the threshold of the main hallway. Olivia, clearly awake, witnessing something no 8-year-old should ever see. Juliet, noticing her, shouted something inaudible, due to the camera's audio limitations. Olivia instantly retreated, her body language conveying pure fear and confusion. The scene continued, with Juliet and the visitor becoming fully explicit, utterly unconcerned about Oliver's daughter's proximity. Then came the detail that shattered something fundamental inside Oliver. Juliet reaching for what was unmistakably a small, clear packet of white powder resting on the coffee table, the same surface where his children routinely completed their homework. "Stop it," Oliver managed to choke out, wrenching his gaze away from the screen. "How long? How many times?" Harrison snapped the laptop shut, his face a mask of controlled fury. "Based on the footage I've systematically reviewed, at least 10 distinct occasions over the past 4 weeks. Different men each time. Sometimes when the kids are presumably asleep, other times when they are demonstrably awake and abandoned. I've watched Olivia attempting to comfort a crying Noah, making him toast while these activities were happening. The sheer scale of the betrayal was staggering, but Oliver's immediate focus crystallized entirely around his children. The kids. We have to get them out of there now. His mind raced through options, each more terrifying than the last. Do you think they are in immediate peril? Should we call 911? Child Protection Services? Harrison placed a steadying hand on Oliver's shoulder. I've already contacted Penelope's sister. She's an experienced family attorney. We need to document every detail properly before making any drastic move. If we rush in and call the police without a solid legal strategy, this could become infinitely more damaging for Olivia and Noah. His words sliced through the dense fog of Oliver's shock. Harrison had already shifted into strategic mode, while Oliver was still processing the horrific facts. What did the attorney advise? She's on her way here already. We must establish a comprehensive record, officially file for emergency custody, and approach this with surgical precision. Juliet is still their biological mother, and charging in without legal protection could backfire catastrophically. Oliver paced the length of the apartment, absolute fury and paralyzing fear battling for dominance. My children are in a home with a stranger and a mother using narcotics and engaging in unprotected activity in front of them, and we're discussing paperwork? Listen to me, Oliver, Harrison said firmly, blocking Oliver's rush toward the door. I know you want to storm over there right now. I do too. But if we execute this incorrectly, Juliet could successfully weaponize the situation against you. We have to be intelligent about how we secure Olivia and Noah's long-term safety, not just for tonight.
The cold, hard logic of his argument gradually penetrated Oliver's emotional haze. How soon can we act? Penelope's sister, Victoria, will be here in under 30 minutes with all the necessary documents. We will file for emergency custody the moment the courthouse opens at 8 a.m. In the interim, we document, we prepare, and we ensure that when we move, we do so legally and correctly. As the initial blinding shock began to morph into focused, lethal determination, Oliver finally sank onto the couch, suddenly aware of the physical toll the past 90 minutes had taken. Thank you, Oliver said quietly, for watching out for them when I couldn't. Harrison nodded, his gaze softening slightly. They are my niece and nephew. I would incinerate this city to protect them. He hesitated, then added, and you need to understand, based on everything I've seen, this is not a one-time error in judgment. Juliet has been systematically deceiving you, potentially for many months. As they awaited the attorney's arrival, Harrison showed Oliver additional video clips he had securely archived. Juliet abandoning the children late at night, clear evidence of strangers in various states of undress moving casually through their house, Olivia desperately trying to soothe the crying Noah while their mother was visibly impaired in the adjacent room. Each new reveal was another blow to the foundation of the life Oliver had believed was real. By the time Victoria arrived with a comprehensive portfolio of legal documents and a compassionate but utterly professional demeanor, Oliver's shock had solidified into unshakable resolve. Whatever sequence of events followed, Oliver's one crystalline priority was protecting his children from a situation he had failed to recognize, until his brother's timely intervention forced him to see the truth. The subsequent 15 hours unfolded with the disorienting, surreal quality of an inescapable nightmare. Victoria, efficient and clinical despite the late hour, guided Oliver through signing the emergency custody petition and formalizing his statement. They meticulously constructed a timeline using Harrison's video evidence, Oliver's extensive travel logs, and text message archives with Juliet that now, in retrospect, contained transparent lies about the children's welfare during his absences.
"The court officially opens at 8:15 a.m., she explained as they completed the final paperwork around 3 a.m. "I will personally file these documents instantly and petition for an emergency hearing. Given the gravity of the evidence, there is a very high probability the judge will grant temporary sole custody pending a full investigation." "And until then?" Oliver asked, exhaustion battling the residual anxiety as the adrenaline began to deplete. "Until then, you have two options," she stated candidly. "You can return home now, confront the situation directly, and risk creating a highly volatile scenario that could further traumatize the children. Or you can wait until we have the court order officially in hand, which provides you with irrefutable legal protection and official backing."
Every fiber of Oliver's being screamed to race home to his children immediately. But the rational, strategic part of his brain, the part that had made him successful in complex, multi-million-dollar sales negotiations, recognized the wisdom in Victoria's implied recommendation. "How long until we have the order? If the judge reviews it immediately, we could have it by 11 a.m. at the latest. I will push for absolute urgency given the nature of the evidence." The decision to endure those additional agonizing hours was arguably the hardest choice Oliver had ever faced. Harrison offered his guest suite, but sleep was impossible. Instead, Oliver reviewed the video archives repeatedly, mentally cataloging every instance of neglect and endangerment, his determination hardening with each viewing. He also mentally prepared for the inevitable confrontation, knowing Juliet would likely respond with manipulative rage, defensive counteraccusations, or a combination of both. By 7:45 a.m. the next morning, Victoria had departed for the courthouse with their meticulously prepared documentation, leaving Harrison and Oliver in intense, silent anticipation. Oliver called his firm's HR department to request immediate emergency family leave, offering minimal details but enough to secure instant approval. Harrison contacted a locksmith who specialized in high-priority rapid response, arranging for them to meet them at Oliver's home immediately after they received the court order. At 10:52 a.m., Victoria called with the news they had been waiting for. The judge has granted emergency temporary custody and exclusive use of the family residence. The county sheriff's department has been notified and can provide an escort if you anticipate significant resistance. The order also explicitly prohibits Juliet from removing the children or any significant household assets.
With the legal mandate now secured, they executed their carefully devised plan. Harrison accompanied Oliver to provide both crucial emotional support and serve as a necessary adult witness. The locksmith was scheduled to arrive simultaneously to immediately replace all locks after Juliet's departure. They had also arranged for a highly recommended female social worker, Lydia, to be present, ensuring an unbiased professional perspective should the situation escalate. The short drive back to Oliver's own home felt like an approach to an entirely unfamiliar residence. The once comforting streets and landmarks of his neighborhood seemed subtly warped, as if the horrific truth had fundamentally altered the very geography of his life. As they pulled into the driveway, Oliver noted Juliet's compact SUV was present, but thankfully no other vehicles, a small mercy given the potential volatility. Lydia, the social worker, arrived moments later. Her calm composure and clear experience with volatile family crises provided a vital steadying influence. "Let me initiate the contact," she suggested. "A neutral third party can often help to de-escalate the initial shock reaction." With the signed court order in Oliver's jacket pocket and his unwavering supporters flanking him, he used his original house key to enter his own home for what felt like the very first time. The living room, the same space he had witnessed being defiled in the security footage, appeared deceptively normal, though with the subtle, insidious signs of neglect Oliver had been too distracted to notice during his brief stints at home.
plastic building bricks scattered across the plush rug, unwashed dinner plates piled precariously high in the sink visible from the foyer, laundry draped over kitchen chairs instead of being stored. Juliet emerged from the kitchen. Her initial look of mild surprise at Oliver's unexpected return instantly curdled into defensive hostility when she registered Harrison's presence and the unfamiliar woman beside him. "What is the meaning of this? Why are you here so early? Who is she?" The rapid-fire questions possessed an aggressive edge Oliver now recognized as her classic diversion tactic. "Juliet, my name is Lydia Hayes. I am a family liaison working with County Child Services. Mr. Wilson has been legally granted an emergency temporary custody order by the court this morning. I am here to facilitate a peaceful transition and ensure the children's physical and emotional well-being during this procedure."
Juliet's face cycled through a devastating series of emotions. Shock, raw anger, frantic calculation, and finally, a theatrical attempt at wounded innocence. "What utter nonsense are you talking about? What fabrications has he been feeding you? This is absurd. There are absolutely no grounds for such an action." Oliver found his voice, surprisingly controlled despite the internal chaos. "We possess video documentation, Juliet, of the men you have been bringing into our home, of the illicit substances, of the children being entirely neglected while you—" Oliver simply could not bring himself to articulate the full extent of what he had seen in front of Lydia. "You have been spying on me." Juliet's strategy shifted instantly to indignant rage. "Invading my privacy with hidden cameras? No court will uphold—" "The security system was installed with your full knowledge," Harrison calmly interjected, "for the family's protection, which is precisely how it has been used, to protect Olivia and Noah." As if summoned by the sound of her name, Oliver's daughter appeared at the hallway entrance, her small face lighting up with genuine, unrestrained joy at seeing her father. "Daddy, you came home early!" She ran toward him, and Oliver kneeled to embrace her, fighting with every ounce of strength to maintain his composure as he felt her thin, protective arms lock around his neck. "Where is your brother Noah?" he asked her quietly. "Still asleep. He was crying a lot last night because of the loud music." Her innocent report confirmed yet another harrowing detail from the footage: Juliet's complete disregard for the children's most basic requirements, like adequate rest.
The arrival of the locksmith only 10 minutes later, and the hard, undeniable reality of the court order held firmly in Lydia's hand gradually penetrated Juliet's frantic denial. Her attempts to portray herself as the victim transmuted into venomous accusations about Oliver's frequent travel, his emotional absence, and his supposed failure to appreciate her immense sacrifices. When these tactics gained no traction, she shifted to explicit threats about vicious custody battles, about destroying Oliver's professional reputation, about turning the children against him permanently. Throughout the ordeal, Lydia maintained an unwavering calm, focusing primarily on the children's welfare, helping Olivia gather essential toys and comfort items, while Oliver went upstairs to gently wake Noah. His son's profound confusion at the unfolding situation broke Oliver's heart anew. His small face searching his father's for authentic reassurance, Oliver struggled desperately to provide. The most challenging moment came when Lydia calmly explained to Juliet that she was legally required to vacate the premises immediately. "You may take personal items and clothing, but absolutely no property of significant value, and certainly not the children," she clarified as Juliet began violently stuffing items into a large sports duffel bag. "You can't just throw me out of my own house," Juliet protested,
though her frantic packing undermined her words. "Where am I supposed to go?" For a fleeting second, Oliver almost felt a pang of pity, recalling the vibrant, caring young woman he had once married. That sentiment utterly vanished when he observed Olivia instinctively positioning herself physically between Juliet and Noah, a fiercely protective stance no 9-year-old should ever need to adopt toward a parent. "You have friends you can stay with, the same ones whose houses you claimed to be at when you were actually here with strangers while our children were left unattended." The barb struck its intended target. Juliet's expression hardened into cold fury as she finished zipping the bag and moved toward the front door. "This is not over," she hissed quietly, the threat unmistakable despite her controlled tone. "Not by a single mile." As the locksmith immediately began replacing the tumblers and the locks, Oliver gathered Olivia and Noah in the living room, struggling to find words appropriate for their age to explain the catastrophic changes in their lives. How do you articulate to children that the very foundation of their world has fractured beyond repair, that one of the two people they should trust most had committed a betrayal they could not yet fully comprehend? "We are going to be living together, just the three of us, for an extended period," Oliver began gently, acutely aware of Lydia's supportive presence nearby. "Mom needs some serious time to get better." "Is she sick?" Noah asked, his innocent question piercing in its unintended accuracy. "In a way, yes," Oliver answered, honestly but carefully. "Sometimes grown-ups make choices that are deeply unhealthy, and they require time away to learn how to make much better ones." Olivia, with the keen perceptiveness that had always defined her, posed the question Oliver had feared most. "Is it because of the strangers? The ones Mom brings home when you're on the coast-to-coast trips?" The confirmation that his children had indeed been fully aware of the horrifying activities struck Oliver with fresh, agonizing pain. "Yes, partially because of that, and because grown-ups should never put children into uncomfortable or unsafe situations. Like when she screams if we come out of our room when she has friends over, or when she stays asleep for 12 hours and we have to make our own cereal." Each revelation was another devastating indictment, another massive failure Oliver had overlooked in his comfortable complacency. "Yes, precisely like that. But things are going to change now, I swear it." As Lydia helped Oliver establish an immediate calming routine to inject a sense of safety and predictability, Harrison coordinated constantly with Victoria by phone, ensuring all legal requirements were being perfectly fulfilled. By evening, when Lydia departed with solemn assurances of continued support through the family court system, a fragile new normality had begun to take hold in the household. One built resolutely on the smoking ruins of what Oliver had once cherished as a happy family. 9 months have passed since that life-altering day, each week bringing new emotional and logistical challenges, but also steady, incremental healing. The initial emergency custody decree has been repeatedly extended as Juliet's erratic behavior during supervised visitations continues to raise serious concerns. The formal investigation unearthed issues even more extensive than Oliver had initially discovered. Clear evidence of long-term substance dependency, alarming financial fraud, including multiple credit cards opened fraudulently in Oliver's name, and disturbing connections to individuals with significant felony records who had been in their home while the children were present. The journey forward has been profoundly difficult for all three of them. Olivia and Noah attend weekly therapy sessions with a specialist in childhood trauma, working through the confusion, residual anger, and deep grief that no child should ever have to confront. Oliver has permanently restructured his professional life, successfully transitioning to a new position with minimal travel and extremely flexible hours that allow him to be fully present for school pickups, weekend Little League games, and the simple, mundane daily moments that he now recognizes as profoundly precious. Their home has been thoroughly renovated, both structurally and emotionally. Walls have been repainted a calming seafoam green, old furniture replaced, and new, unwavering traditions established to create deliberate distance from the painful associations. Wednesday movie nights, Saturday morning French toast breakfasts, and Sunday afternoon nature hikes have become the reliable, comforting rhythm of their new family dynamic. The high-tech security system remains, though now it symbolizes protection and vigilance rather than secret surveillance. Harrison's role in their lives has deepened significantly. He visits 3 or 4 times weekly, providing both practical assistance and the consistent positive male influence that Olivia and Noah require more than ever. His willingness to be present during the absolute hardest moments, the tearful questions about when mommy is coming home, and the nightmares that still occasionally disturb their sleep, has proven the depth of his unwavering commitment to their family's recovery.
The protracted legal proceedings continue their slow, grinding progression through the family court system. Juliet has cycled unpredictably through periods of exaggerated remorse and aggressive, manipulative counter-accusations. Her resistance during mandated drug testing and psychological evaluations continues to severely undermine her case for restored custody. Oliver takes no personal satisfaction in her struggles, recognizing that his children will forever carry the complicated, painful reality of having a mother who failed them so fundamentally. What keeps Oliver entirely grounded through this ongoing, exhausting challenge is the visible evidence of Olivia and Noah's innate resilience. Olivia's academic performance, which had suffered dramatically, has returned to her previously enthusiastic high level of engagement. Noah's nervous habits have almost entirely disappeared, as genuine security and routine have been successfully restored to his daily life. Their bright laughter, virtually absent during those first terrifying weeks, now regularly echoes throughout their house again. Oliver has absorbed painful lessons about vigilance, about the extreme danger of comfortable, willful assumptions, and about the immense courage required to rebuild from utter devastation. The high-flying career that once seemed all-important now occupies its correct, secondary place in his priorities. The superficial, self-serving social connections that characterize their previous life have been replaced by fewer but incomparably deeper relationships with people who have demonstrated genuine, unwavering support during their family crisis.
Most critically, Oliver has discovered reserves of strength he never knew he possessed. The capacity to sit with his children's raw pain without trying to minimize it. The patience to answer their difficult questions honestly but age-appropriately. The cold determination to forge a future of absolute safety and stability, regardless of the obstacles. Every new day brings new challenges, but also new, profound moments of connection and genuine healing that would never have been possible had the painful, life-altering truth remained concealed. Oliver remains eternally grateful to his brother Harrison, whose vigilance and sheer courage in showing him exactly what he did not want to see ultimately saved his children from continued, invisible harm. His simple text message that night, "Abort your plans tonight, secure separate accommodation, trust me," initially felt like the horrifying prelude to the worst chapter of his life. With the perspective gained over time, Oliver now recognizes it as the essential first step toward authentic, lasting family recovery. Have you ever had a person in your life brave enough to tell you a difficult truth you desperately needed to hear? Or have you been the individual who had to deliver painful news to protect someone you care deeply about? Please share your experience in the comments section below. Your story might provide much-needed guidance to someone facing a similar crossroads right now. If this compelling account of safeguarding children from a truly dangerous situation resonated with you, please hit the like button and subscribe to hear more stories about difficult family challenges and enduring resilience. And if you know someone grappling with an impossible family decision, share this video as a crucial reminder that sometimes the hardest choices lead directly to the most necessary healing. Thank you for listening, and always remember that true family protection sometimes requires painful honesty followed by unwavering long-term support.